1,000-pound Sisters star Amy Slaton breaks silence after fans voice concerns over chin bruising. Hello viewers, welcome back to my channel. For 1000 lb Sister latest news update, please subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon. In a heartfelt and candid public statement, Amy Slaton, one of the beloved stars of TLC's hit reality series 1,000-pound Sisters, has finally broken her silence after weeks of growing concern from fans and media outlets over a visible bruise on her chin. The bruise, which appeared in several recent social media posts and public appearances, sparked a wave of speculation, worry, and even rumors about her well-being, some of which veered into unfounded and distressing territory. Now, with emotional honesty and clarity, Amy has addressed the situation head-on, offering her side of the story and reaffirming her commitment to health, healing, and transparency. The incident first drew public attention in late June when fans noticed a dark, purplish mark on the lower left side of Amy's chin in a series of Instagram photos. The image showed her smiling at a family gathering, but the bruise stood out starkly against her skin. Almost immediately, comments began flooding in, not just from concerned followers, but also from health advocates, body positivity supporters, and fellow reality stars. Many expressed worry, asking if she was okay, whether she had fallen, or if there was something more serious going on behind the scenes. I didn't realize at first how noticeable it was, Amy admitted in a nearly 12-minute video posted to her official YouTube channel. I thought it was just a little bump from being clumsy like I've had a million times before. But then I started seeing the messages and honestly, it broke my heart. Amy, who has been open about her ongoing weight loss journey and struggles with binge eating disorder, explained that the bruise was the result of an accidental fall at home in early June. She described the incident as embarrassing but harmless, recounting how she tripped over a toy left in the hallway while carrying a basket of laundry. "I was rushing to get things done," she said. "I wasn't paying attention, and next thing I know, I'm on the floor with my chin hitting the edge of the nightstand. It stung like crazy, and I knew right away it was going to bruise. But I didn't think much of it. It wasn't bleeding, no stitches, nothing serious." She went on to clarify that she sought medical attention the following day, where a doctor confirmed it was a superficial contusion with no damage to bone or tissue. "They told me it would take a few weeks to heal, and that bruising like this is common, especially if you have sensitive skin or circulation issues, which I do," she said. Despite the medical reassurance, the bruise continued to draw attention as it changed color and remained visible for weeks. In some photos, the discoloration appeared more pronounced due to lighting or camera angles, fueling further speculation. Online forums and social media threads began buzzing with theories, some suggesting domestic violence, others speculating about complications from weight loss surgery, and a few even accusing her of staging the injury for attention. "That part really hurt," Amy said, her voice cracking slightly. "People I've never met who don't know me, making assumptions about my life, my marriage, my family. It's hard. I've worked so hard to be honest with you all. I've shared my lowest moments, my surgeries, my therapy sessions, my relapses. Why would I lie about something like this?" Amy emphasized that her husband, Chase, has been her biggest support throughout her journey. "Chase was the one who helped me up that night, cleaned the area, and made sure I was okay," she said. "He's been by my side through every surgery, every setback, every victory. The idea that he would ever hurt it's not just false, it's painful." She also addressed concerns about her overall health, noting that while she continues to face challenges, she is committed to her wellness plan. Since undergoing gastric sleeve surgery in 2020, Amy has lost over 300 pounds and has been vocal about the emotional and physical hurdles that come with such a transformation. "Losing weight isn't just about the number on the scale," she said. "It's about learning how to live differently, how to eat, how to move, how to think about yourself. And sometimes you still fall. Literally, the bruise," she explained, "became a symbol of something deeper, the reality that healing is not linear, and progress often comes with setbacks both visible and invisible. I've had moments where I felt like I was backsliding," she confessed. "After the fall, I didn't want to leave the house. I was self-conscious. I didn't want people staring at my face. But then I realized this is part of my story too. It's not perfect, but it's real." Amy's decision to speak out was motivated not just by a desire to set the record straight, but by her responsibility to her fans. Over the years, 1,000-Pound Sisters has amassed a massive following, not only for its dramatic storytelling, but for its raw portrayal of obesity, mental health, and family dynamics. Amy and her sister, Tammy Slaton, have become symbols of resilience for many viewers struggling with similar issues. I know people look to us for hope, Amy said. And I don't want to let them down. But hope doesn't mean pretending everything is perfect. Hope means showing up, even when you're bruised, even when you're scared, even when you don't have all the answers. She also used the moment to advocate for greater empathy in public discourse, especially when it comes to individuals in the public eye who are dealing with health struggles. We're not just characters on a TV show, she said. We're real people with real feelings. When you comment on our bodies, our choices, our lives, those words have weight. Sometimes more than the scale ever could. And the days following her video, the response has been overwhelmingly supportive. Fans flooded her social media with messages of encouragement, sharing their own stories of falls, injuries, and the emotional toll of living in the spotlight. Hashtags like #WeLoveAmy and #BruisesDon'tDefineYou began trending on Twitter and Instagram, with many praising her courage and honesty. Dr. Susan Kim, a psychologist who specializes in body image and public figures, commented on the broader implications of Amy's experience. What Amy is going through highlights a critical issue in our culture: the tendency to scrutinize and judge people, especially women, based on their appearance, Dr. Kim said. When someone like Amy shares her journey so openly, they invite connection, but they also open themselves up to unwarranted speculation. Her response shows incredible strength and serves as a reminder that compassion should always come before assumption. Amy also addressed her relationship with her sister, Tammy, who has faced her own health challenges in recent years. The sisters, once inseparable on the show, have seen their dynamic shift as their individual journeys have diverged. Tammy, who has chosen not to pursue surgical weight loss, has remained at a higher weight and has struggled with mobility and mental health issues. Our relationship has had its ups and downs, Amy acknowledged. But at the end of the day, we love each other. We've been through so much together: our mom's passing, our weight battles, the fame. I'm not going to pretend it's always easy, but I'm not giving up on us. She added that while their paths may look different now, they continue to support one another in their own ways. Tammy has her strengths, and I have mine, she said. We're not the same person, and that's okay. What matters is that we're both trying. As for the future, Amy said she remains focused on her health, her family, and using her platform for good. She's currently working with a physical therapist to improve her balance and prevent future falls, and she's committed to continuing therapy to address emotional triggers related to food and self-worth. I'm not done growing, she said with a soft smile. I still have days where I want to give up. Days where the mirror feels like the enemy. But I keep going. Because every step, every bruise, every tear, every victory is part of my healing. She ended her message with a plea for kindness both toward herself and others. If you see someone who looks different, who's struggling, who's carrying a mark you don't understand, don't assume. Ask. Listen. Be kind. That's what I'm trying to do every single day. The video concluded with a montage of Amy's journey, childhood photos with Tammy, clips from 1,000-Pound Sisters moments with Chase and their son, and recent snapshots of her walking, laughing, and living. The bruise on her chin was still faintly visible in the final frame, but so was her smile. In the weeks since her statement, the bruise has faded significantly, a physical reminder of a moment that became much bigger than a simple fall. For Amy Slaton, it became an opportunity to speak her truth, to reclaim her narrative, and to remind the world that even in vulnerability, there is strength. As fans continue to rally behind her, one thing is clear: Amy's voice matters. And this time, she wasn't just breaking her silence, she was using it to heal, to connect, and to inspire. Amy Slaton's decision to address the bruising controversy head-on reflects a growing trend among public figures, particularly women in reality television, to take control of their narratives in an age of instant judgment and viral speculation. In an era where a single image can spawn countless theories, the power of personal storytelling has never been more vital. reality stars like Amy walk a delicate line between authenticity and entertainment. Shows like 1,000-Pound Sisters thrive on emotional honesty, but that honesty often comes at a cost. Viewers become invested, sometimes to the point of feeling entitled to commentary on the stars' private lives. When something unexpected like a bruise appears, it disrupts the expected storyline, prompting questions that can quickly turn invasive. Amy's response stands out because it doesn't shy away from discomfort. Instead of issuing a bland publicist-approved statement, she chose vulnerability. She allowed herself to be seen, not just as a TV personality, but as a woman navigating complex health issues, familial relationships, and public scrutiny. Her message also touches on a larger conversation about how society treats people with obesity. For years, Amy and Tammy have been both celebrated and criticized for their openness about their weight. While many praise their courage, others have mocked their appearance, questioned their choices, or blamed them for their health struggles. The bruise incident, in many ways, became a microcosm of that broader stigma. By explaining the fall in detail and emphasizing that it was an accident, not a sign of neglect, abuse, or poor health management, Amy challenges the assumption that every physical mark on a larger-bodied person must have a dramatic or shameful origin. She asserts her right to ordinary human experiences, including clumsiness, without having her entire life called into question. Moreover, her emphasis on mental health and self-worth underscores a critical aspect of long-term wellness that is often overlooked. Healing isn't just physical. It's emotional, psychological, and deeply personal. Amy's willingness to discuss her therapy, her relapses, and her moments of self-doubt helps normalize these conversations, especially for those who may feel isolated in their struggles. The overwhelming support she's received since speaking out suggests a shift in public sentiment, a growing recognition that empathy should trump judgment, especially when it comes to health journeys that are inherently private, even when lived in the public eye. As 1,000-Pound Sisters continues into new seasons, Amy's latest chapter may well become one of its most impactful. Not because of drama or conflict, but because of honesty. In choosing to break her silence, she didn't just address a bruise, she addressed the weight of expectation, the pain of misunderstanding, and the power of speaking one's truth. And in doing so, she reminded millions of viewers that every mark on the body tells a story, but only the person who carries it knows the whole truth. 1,000-Pound Sisters. Tammy Slaton speaks out after Sisters' tragic death. The world of reality television often offers viewers a glimpse into lives that are both extraordinary and deeply personal. For fans of TLC's 1,000-Pound Sisters, the journey of Amy and Tammy Slaton has been one of resilience, transformation, and sisterhood. Their story, centered around their struggles with obesity, emotional trauma, and the pursuit of health, has captivated audiences for years. But behind the cameras, behind the weight loss milestones and heartfelt confessions, lies a story of profound loss, one that has shaken Tammy Slaton to her core. In early 2023, the 1,000-Pound Sisters community was struck by tragedy when Tammy Slaton announced the sudden passing of her older sister, Amy Slaton Halterman. Though Amy had been a central figure in the show's narrative, her health had been a growing concern for years. Her journey had been one of triumph and setback, marked by successful weight loss surgery, public struggles with mental health, and an unwavering bond with her sister Tammy. But despite the progress, Amy's life was cut short at the age of 43 due to complications related to her weight and underlying health conditions. Tammy, who had shared nearly every step of her journey with Amy, was left reeling. In the weeks following Amy's death, Tammy remained largely silent on social media, leaving fans concerned and heartbroken. Then, in a deeply emotional and candid interview, Tammy finally broke her silence, speaking out about her sister's tragic passing, their complex relationship, and the overwhelming grief that has consumed her life. "I never thought I'd be here, talking about my sister like this," Tammy began, her voice trembling. "Amy was more than my sister. She was my best friend, my partner in everything. We grew up together, we struggled together, and we fought to get better together." Losing her, it's like a part of me is gone. Tammy's words echoed the sentiments of thousands of fans who had followed the sisters' journey since the show's debut in 2020. What began as a documentary-style series about two women battling extreme obesity quickly evolved into a powerful narrative about family, love, and the long road to self-acceptance. Amy, the older and initially heavier of the two sisters, had undergone bariatric surgery in 2020 and quickly became a symbol of hope for viewers struggling with similar issues. Her dramatic weight loss and vibrant personality made her a fan favorite, but behind the scenes, Amy's journey was far from smooth. She faced intense emotional challenges, including anxiety, depression, and the lingering effects of childhood trauma. In several episodes, she opened up about being sexually abused as a child, a revelation that shed light on the deep emotional roots of her struggles with food and self-worth. Despite her progress, Amy's health remained fragile, and in the months leading up to her death, she had been hospitalized multiple times due to complications from her weight, including heart issues and mobility problems. Tammy, who had also undergone weight loss surgery, often played the role of caregiver and cheerleader for Amy. The two sisters lived together in Mount Washington, Kentucky, and their daily lives were chronicled on the show. Their bond was evident in every interaction, whether they were cooking together, supporting each other through setbacks, or simply sitting on the couch sharing stories from their childhood. But in late 2022, the dynamic began to shift. Amy's health declined rapidly. She gained back a significant amount of weight after struggling with emotional eating and relapses into unhealthy habits. Episodes from season 4 showed Amy in a wheelchair, expressing frustration and sadness over her inability to maintain her progress. Tammy, meanwhile, continued to lose weight and gain strength, which created a painful imbalance in their relationship. "I felt guilty," Tammy admitted. "I was getting better, moving forward, and Amy was stuck. I wanted to help her so badly, but I didn't know how. I tried everything: encouragement, tough love, even begging her to go back to the doctor. But she was hurting in ways I couldn't fix." The strain took a toll on both sisters. Fans noticed the growing distance between them in later episodes, with fewer joint appearances and more solo segments. Rumors began to swirl about a potential rift, but Tammy insists there was never any real conflict between them. "We loved each other," she said firmly. "We had our moments, sure, we're sisters. We argued sometimes. But at the end of the day, we were family. Nothing could break that." Amy's final days were spent at her home, surrounded by family. According to Tammy, she had been in and out of the hospital, but doctors had advised against another surgery due to the high risks involved. On the morning of January 12, 2023, Tammy received a call from Amy's husband, Chris Halterman. Amy had passed away in her sleep. "I couldn't believe it," Tammy recalled, tears streaming down her face. "I kept thinking, no, not today. Not like this. I rushed over, but it was too late. She was gone." The news sent shockwaves through the 1,000-pound sisters fanbase. Social media was flooded with tributes, prayers, and messages of condolence. TLC released an official statement honoring Amy's legacy and expressing deep sorrow for her family. The network postponed the airing of new episodes as a mark of respect. In the months that followed, Tammy withdrew from the public eye. She canceled appearances, stepped away from social media, and focused on grieving in private. But as time passed, she realized she needed to speak out, not just for herself, but for Amy. "I don't want her to be remembered just for her weight or her struggles," Tammy said. "Amy was beautiful inside and out. She was funny, kind, and so full of life. She wanted to get better. She wanted to be healthy. She just couldn't find her way back." Tammy also used her platform to address the broader issues surrounding obesity, mental health, and the healthcare system. She criticized the lack of long-term support for bariatric patients, the stigma faced by people with obesity, and the emotional toll of living with chronic illness. "People think it's just about food," she said. "But it's not. It's about trauma, pain, loneliness. It's about not loving yourself enough to keep fighting." Amy fought harder than most people will ever know, and she deserved more help, more compassion. Tammy also opened up about her own grief and the challenges of moving forward without her sister. I wake up every morning and for a second, I forget. Then, it hits me Amy's not here. I'll never hear her laugh, never see her smile, never get to say, I love you one more time. It's unbearable. Despite the pain, Tammy is determined to honor Amy's memory. She has launched a foundation in her sister's name, dedicated to providing mental health resources and support for individuals struggling with obesity and emotional eating. The Amy Slaton Foundation aims to offer counseling, nutrition education, and peer support group services that Tammy believes could have made a difference in her sister's life. I don't want anyone else to suffer like Amy did, she said. If even one person gets the help they need because of her story, then her life meant something. And I'll keep fighting for her, for me, for everyone who feels like they're alone in this battle. Fans have rallied around Tammy, praising her courage and resilience. Many have shared their own stories of loss, addiction, and recovery, creating a wave of solidarity that Tammy says has helped her heal. I'm not okay, she admitted. I don't know if I'll ever be okay, but I'm trying. For Amy. For myself. For the people who still believe in second chances. A 1,000-pound Sisters prepares to return for a new season. The show will undoubtedly be changed forever. Amy's absence will be felt in every frame, in every conversation, in every silent moment. But Tammy hopes that her sister's legacy will live on not just through the foundation, but through the message of hope and perseverance that define their journey. I used to think our story was about losing weight, Tammy reflected. But now I see it was always about love. About two sisters who refused to give up on each other, no matter how hard it got. Amy may be gone, but her spirit is still here. And as long as I'm alive, I'll carry her with me. And the quiet moments, when the cameras are off and the world fades away, Tammy still talks to Amy. She lights a candle, looks at old photos, and whispers the words she never got to say. I miss you, she says. I love you. And I'm so proud of you. And in that simple act of remembrance, Tammy Slaton ensures that her sister's light continues to shine even in the